All right. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, big money. Cash money. Big money, big dollars. We are back.
We buy gold.
It is Wednesday night. It is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And we've got ourselves a brand new guest to the show. He's new on the pod, but not new around these parts. We got ourselves Ryder Whitworth.
Yay!
Hello, loyal viewers.
Loyal, air quote, awesome subscribers. Ryder,
Hi, Amy.
just hey, Amy, once again, first in the chat, shout out. But
Hi, Amy.
yeah, anyway, it's popping off here on Wednesday night. Hope everybody's ready for Thanksgiving. Got your pies in the oven and whatnot. But nobody's working for the next 2 to 4 days, if you can help it. Shout out to anybody that's got to plow roads, like
Yeah,
our
big
like
snow coming
like
in.
our parents. They're preparing to work, but I, however, am not. I'm planning on doing a little bit of sitting around, but let's get in here. I want to give Ryder a little bit of an introduction because he hasn't been on the pod yet, and he also hasn't really been in much of my videos. Even last year in Vermont, Ryder was living with Calvin and I. He was actually the one that he was the one that opened the door for this whole opportunity for us to go live in
Spearheaded
Vermont.
the operation.
Yeah, he went out and put out the satellite and gathered the intel. All we did was show up, but. Yeah, he was a bit shy to the camera back then, but he's ready to open up now. And I guess I'll turn it over to you, Ryder. But we can start with maybe how you met us. If you want to start there.
Yeah, totally. Calvin and I played middle school baseball together. And I
Big
guess a little
time.
more
B-team.
foreshadowing. I grew up in Brookfield as well.
Yep.
And
Right down the road.
right down the road. And as a kid, I always wanted like the neighborhood buddies to ride bikes and get into crap, and no one was ever around. And in 7th grade, playing baseball with Calvin, he was homeschooled, and he was like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Brookfield," and I was like, "No way." And it was like Moose Mountain. I was like, "No way." And then we still didn't hang out for all of middle school. And then the day before our first day of high school, he wanted the scoop on tween life.
Yeah. What
And,
to expect?
I had to get the inside track.
And invited me over, and I saw the wiffle ball field and all the
And-
trucks, and I was like, "These are the
But
coolest
you gotta-
dudes ever."
You got to bring it back a little bit because in middle school, Ryder will tell you he's always said that he peaked in middle school, which I don't think is true. But this guy in middle school, he was, drumming. He was.
Yep.
I don't know,
In
did
some
you
kind
drum
of
in a
band at
band?
the time. Yeah.
That was high school when I was in the band.
Okay.
But you were basically just a pimp in middle school.
Uh,
Come on, don't downplay it.
I think
downplay it.
I said that because I had the most girlfriends in middle school, but
Right.
it was middle
Wh-
school, so it was
what-
like holding hands.
Yeah, whatever
and
that means.
sitting on the
middle
bus
school.
for field trips. But
I think I don't know if you guys were quite in high school or if it was still middle school when I was giving you money to eat French fries on my floor. That was one of the only moments you appeared in a YouTube video back in the day. And that's the only reason I bring it up all the time is because that was like one of the very few Ryder moments I have on camera, other than your graduation.
yeah, I want to say like 15, maybe.
Maybe it
14,
was like
something
freshman
that.
year of high school. I was giving you guys a ride to baseball, so I guess it had to have been high school. If you guys were still in middle school, I don't know if I quite would have been driving you.
No, we didn't hang out in middle school. We like knew of each other, and I tried to. Calvin was a little Mysterio. He was a little-
Yeah, he always
couldn't-
was. I remember dropping him off at baseball, and kids would yell, "Hey, homeschool!"
Yeah.
And that was about all you
Was
heard
that-
from him.
yeah.
Was
And
that
then-
really your nickname, homeschool?
Yeah, from a few kids, and but I was known for vomiting in the hallway. 'Cause I don't know. I got nervous.
You
going,
vomited before most sporting events
Yeah.
back in the day.
I mean, just the pressure got to me. But going from homeschooling to going to school and like playing sports at school was a big transition. So it
There's
took
a lot to take on for
yeah,
you.
It
For
took a
your,
while to warm up.
your little heart could barely take it no more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you guys were pretty good friends all through high school, and that's kind of when we started hanging out just a little bit. Like you were always Calvin's friend to me, I would say.
Totally.
Yeah, until we went to Vermont,
Yeah,
essentially. And now I kind of more think of Ryder as my friend, and sometimes Calvin's there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tables turned a little bit, honestly. Yeah. Now I'm texting Caleb first if we're getting into something.
Yeah. Calvin comes afterwards. We'll make a plan and we'll try and get Calvin on board, but it's generally but yeah, it was just funny how that happened because I think neither of us were really sure how it was going to go living with each other. Like we both have some idea of what it's like being with Calvin because you spent time with him in Colorado. I've lived with him my whole life, but you and I had never, like I said, we were really not even friends yet. Like we were both friends with Calvin, and that was essentially it.
Yeah, it was
And,
more like, to me, it was like, oh, Calvin's brother's moving in.
Yeah,
This should be fun.
this will be interesting.
I remember trying to rope you into it, though.
Yeah, you tried pretty hard, and I was I pissed on it pretty hard in the beginning.
I was
yeah.
like, Caleb, you're gonna have a good time if you come
you're
up
like,
there,
"Nah."
man.
I was like, nah, no way. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. But then,
That's
you know,
weird.
but one thing led to another, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm heading to Vermont. You know, packing my bags and shipping out. But I mean, I don't know. We had a great time. I think we made the most of the situation. We really had a blast. When I tell people about it, I say it was essentially like living a fantasy. It was a great time.
Well, Calvin and I joked because we were a little nervous about you coming up because we didn't know how it was gonna go for you,
Yeah.
and you made the most out of it out of either of us.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
You
you
Out of
guys.
the three of us, Gil definitely did the best.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, as far as just taking advantage of the situation.
I just I think maybe it's because I'm a little bit older. Like certainly like you hadn't even really turned 21 yet. So it was a lot harder to go out when the only places that are open are bars. It's a little bit harder to go out when you're not quite 21.
Plus, Ryder had a girlfriend there. Ryder was there with his girlfriend, so
Right. And I was out.
single guy.
Yeah, I was out at large, and but also I think like I just really, I guess yeah, like we're saying, I just took advantage of it. I saw what was going on, and I saw where I fit amongst all of it, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like I can just do this here, and it's like not only was it cool, like it was like revered. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like I cleaned toilets all night and I skied all day, and people loved me for it. You know, like that's what was so exciting about it. Like nobody expected. I had two things I could tell you. I could tell you how the snow was in the morning and how fucking dirty the toilets were at night. That was the only two things I had to say. But believe me, people wanted to hear about that. So that's the type of place it was, and so I had a lot of fun there. You obviously you're still up there,
Yep.
and you know, I got to say, I as it's getting colder and we're talking about snow here, snow was a lot more exciting when you were living in a ski area. I was pretty pumped to hear that it snowed, but I can't say the same for myself. But how are things shaping up this season over there?
So we haven't opened yet. Last year we already were open. The weather has not been good for snowmaking, but we have gotten snow like I want to say 8 times or something like that already, where it's like you go outside and there's accumulation and
Yeah,
people hiking up to the top to ski because there's plenty of snow up there. But right now they're missing like the last 500 feet of trail to open chairs.
right.
It's like you got snow all the way down, but just not enough. But there's rumors of this weekend. That'd be cool. I'm not
Supposed to get
counting on
cold.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, and honestly, from my experience there last year, the first couple of weekends can be pretty tough anyway in terms of operation. They don't quite have all the bugs worked out just yet, and God only knows if they'll have electricity. For some reason, electricity was a real crisis at this place.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think when you're in that environment, and that's everybody around you is only concerned with the stoke and the skiing. Every time it snows, you are excited that it's deeper and heavier than last time. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not worried about your plow route or how many driveways you got to shovel or how late you're going to be to work because your car is covered in snow. You're stoked because you're going skiing. That was just a much more positive winter atmosphere than you can find around here at times.
Well, and you think too, it's a ski town,
Right. That's
It's
the
like that's
industry.
why everyone's there.
Yeah.
That's why people work there to pay for getting to the mountain or work for the mountain, or it's like how Wolfboro's a lake town.
Yep.
Everyone does their services for people who come to the lake with skiing.
Right. A lot of second homes out there.
Oh yeah.
Probably the majority of homes are second homes in that area.
Second, third, fifth, 11th.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when housing's just so difficult around there,
there's not any to be had, and then what's left there, literally nobody's in. Like it's vacant
They're
most
just
of the
empty
year.
houses,
Or
but you don't
Airbnb.
get one.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
$5,000 a night for Airbnb
yeah.
at a mansion.
It's just bizarre. It is. Vermont is it's a really bizarre place. I always say it's like anarchist because they don't really take that great care of their roads. There's no garbage collection of any sort, right? Like I think that's cool. I like that idea of you are responsible for whatever garbage you may or may not create. Like no public service is gonna take care of your garbage. So I like that idea, but obviously, like that's just not really how our world is currently set up. Like if you go anywhere else, like typically there's a dump that you take your stuff to. We did end up finding there's the privately owned and operated transfer station you can take your stuff to, but
What a racket, though.
yeah, I
Place
know.
was ridiculous.
They just because they know they got you by the balls. You got no option.
Yeah.
So
What's it? It's $4 for a
I think it was
4-year dump sticker here or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
oh yeah.
And it's like $4 a bag at that one in Vermont.
Yeah.
And they
Like-
still try and make you sort it.
Yeah.
And you know what else?
Yeah, you guys really dicked me over dealing with that. I'm going to the dump. They're like, oh, you can't put that in with the bag. You got to sort it out. I'm like, okay. Pour it out. Cans, trash, food scraps.
It was just
Like-
all in one bag. I think we were gonna take it home and put it in the dumpster. I don't know. Who knows?
Well-
You know what I did most of the time? If I had to go to the transfer station, they did have a bin for construction debris. And so you could just huck everything in
Yeah.
there. If it was in a black bag, you just say, yeah, I got construction debris.
Mhm.
And you huck it in.
That's fair game, yeah.
So, here's one odd thing, right? So there's really no obvious means of how you get rid of your garbage, right? Other than paying through the nose for this place to take care of your garbage, there's no obvious way to get rid of it. So my first thought, right, as a human being, my first thought is, oh, well, I suppose you could burn it all, right? But we ran into some issues when it came to burning garbage up there in Vermont.
Yeah, they didn't love it.
They did not love it. We had a couple pallet fires, and the pallets were okay to burn. But this one pallet had a piece of plastic wrap on it, and we tossed it into the fire. And I didn't care. I would have just let it burn. But our landlord, she wasn't happy about it. So
Yeah.
The
Well, it's a real.
carcinogens!
What we're leaving out is we lived in a real hippie house of an apartment complex. It wasn't
Yeah.
your standard white walled condo. It was.
So not everybody in Vermont's like that. Some of them aren't normal people.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, so
Yeah,
like
certainly
a
there's
lot of
some
the
variety.
people I hung out with that were more like native, like more homegrown from Vermont. Like they had piles of trash around their maple syrup hut, and in between burning maple syrup, they would burn their trash
Yeah.
outside in the open. Those people are certainly crawling around out there. But yeah, it just so happened where we were, it was like an artist community or something.
Yeah, I mean,
It
the
was
building we
like-
lived in had, 6 apartments,
Yeah,
and only one of them, Beta's mom, Mel,
yeah,
she was the only one who's from Vermont,
right.
and everyone else was like,
interlopers. Yeah.
they were all Mass, and we were New Hampshire, which Vermont's no better.
Yeah. So anyway, it was an interesting vibe, but we tried burning our trash there, and they were not pleased. I did get him back though in the end by leaving a garbage chair in the lawn when I moved out.
They wanted that, though. They wanted you to leave that.
I don't remember.
It's just overgrown now.
I think I intended on going back for it just to get it out of there because I didn't plan on abandoning it there, but somebody
what's
must
a-
have told me to leave it. I don't know.
What's a garbage chair? What was it?
Oh, it was a chair they were gonna put in the garbage,
Oh.
but I put it in the lawn
It
instead.
was a nice looking chair.
Like a recliner, you mean?
It was like a hotel lobby chair, not quite a recliner,
No, it was like
but
an old school chair.
yeah, high back,
Very
chair.
stylized.
Made out of wood.
Do you
Yeah,
have any
comfy.
pictures of
Wood
it?
legs.
I used to sit in it by the fire all the time.
It was comfy.
Yeah, it was a nice chair, and it was nice on a cold night because it was indoor furniture, so it was like insulation when you sat on it. You know, you didn't feel
Upholstered.
you didn't feel the cold air blowing behind you. You sit facing towards the fire. It's nice and warm. The chair often steamed because the snow was melting off it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We had some good times up there. Oddly enough, though, we didn't ski that often together. We had a couple of days where we got out skiing together, but mostly everyone was kind of on solo missions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
But the days we did have together were like the good days to have
Right,
together. It was always the sunny, bluebird, fresh snow.
Yeah, like there's a couple. We had a couple dream days out there when we were all together. But I really I felt like I've always been a pretty good skier, but I never had much for guts, and I still don't have anything in terms of guts compared to like you guys, compared to being able to do anything in the terrain park. But I do feel like in terms of terrain and to an extent trying to get air off jumps. Again, you guys know how I ski. I'm not flying going crazy. But over last winter, I felt like I definitely hit a new peak for myself, just because I was literally every day on the hill.
Hell yeah, man.
And a lot of the times, like if it wasn't like a ton of fresh snow, you weren't dying to go to the hill right when it opened in the morning. But I would just get up and I'd be like, this is what you're doing. Because again, I wanted to take advantage of my opportunity. I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever have this opportunity again, so I'm gonna go. Force myself to get up and go. And then by the time you're on your second run, you're just into it. You know what I mean? Like you're not even thinking about it anymore. You're like, okay, right over here, there's this little cliff that I saw last time. This time, I'm going off the cliff instead of just going by it. I'm going off the cliff this time. And you're just totally into it. But
I was thinking about the other day, probably one of my all-time skiing days ever is, remember when we were at the hike park and Ellen wasn't open yet and Lincoln Peak was, and it was pouring rain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we went to Lincoln and we spent like half the day on Heaven's Gate chair. You remember that one, Caleb? Like the Lincoln Peak, the tallest one?
yes,
Like,
yep.
So
you can't see
it was
anything.
open, but there was like no snow on the trail. It was like 20 feet of snow, 15 feet of mud, 20 feet of snow. And Calvin and I were just skiing mud all afternoon.
Patch to patch.
No one is up there except us and like a couple other people, and it's nuking rain, and we're just dripping, like soaking wet, and just screaming the whole way down, just like,
Being a savage.
yeah, just tumbling.
Yeah.
It was epic.
Skiing in the rain is, it can be fun.
It can be.
Once you get wet, once you get over the fact of being wet, then it's fun. Then you can have fun with it.
It also, I mean, you guys often will just be wearing a hoodie and whatever. You guys don't get too teched out when it comes to gear. I'll have a little more sensory problems if I don't tech it out with the gear a little bit. But to your point, like I have ski gear that I can wear that is 100% effective when it's soaking wet. Right, I'm never gonna be cold. I'll put on the proper gear for the conditions. Whether I'm sweating or it's pouring rain, I know I'm gonna get wet. The important part is that I stay warm.
Once you get cold, you just gotta go harder. That means you're not working hard enough. You gotta move faster.
To an extent, but for myself personally, I couldn't imagine wearing a cotton sweatshirt in the pouring rain and trying to ski for more than 45 minutes. You guys did that pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Different breed over there. Or really, I do acknowledge, for me personally, it's like a sensory problem that I have. I'm not gonna lie, but
Flares up the eczema too much.
yeah, no lie. I I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we should try and pull up some ski clips. I kind of had hoped maybe we were going to get a little edit from you, Ryder. We could try and show. Do you got something you could send to Carter? Because we were just
You
trying
got
to
anything
think.
in the files?
Because Instagram is where most of your like clips are, but it's kind of hard to pull that up on the computer. But just go to the Sugarbush YouTube. Isn't there? Remember that Sugarbush Parks video you did, or you were a part of anyway? The best crew in the business, was that on YouTube?
Oh,
Or is that on Instagram?
Instagram, the landscaping one you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, again, it's on Instagram. But I'm just trying to think of something we can pull up to give some frame of reference of what we're talking about in terms of Sugarbush. That's where we were last winter. The old Sugarbush in Warren, Vermont, and I had never been there until last winter, and I really enjoyed the terrain in terms of skiing. But the big news there, if you didn't know, the big thing at Sugarbush, the reason you guys wanted to be there is the terrain park. The terrain park is, I don't know what the right word. It's just a lot higher quality than most what we see here on the east. I don't know how you guys would say it compares nationwide. I would say here on the east, I've never seen anything like it. No, I wouldn't even say I've seen anything close to it on the East Coast, personally.
Yeah, a lot of people call us D1.
Yeah,
We're
in terms of the
top
terrain park.
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Top dogs.
and it's no joke. All the people I talk to that work at the mountain, like upper management people that work there, they're like, no, I mean, this is obviously something we have a following because of this terrain park. It's like a known thing. Whether or not they ever get enough credit, from the people at the top of the mountain, that's always up for debate. But the people at the top certainly are aware of the following that the terrain park has, which tells you there is a big impact there. Oh,
Break out the stretch pants for tomorrow.
yeah, Colin says break out stretch pants for tomorrow, being that it's Thanksgiving coming up. We were just kind of talking about tomorrow, saying how we don't, all of our plans got canceled due to weather. We don't have anything going on tomorrow now.
It's
'Cause-
just a
too much.
sit around day.
Yeah, but then it's not going to be anything. Like, it's going to be maybe, it'll be dangerous to drive, but it's not going to be like worse than any other snowstorm.
That's what I said to
yeah.
my mom. Called me this morning before I drove down from Vermont, and she was like, I don't know, like, if you should be coming or not, like the snow and stuff. And I was like, I live in northern Vermont now, right? It's like you
Yeah.
wake up, there's 3 feet of snow. It's too bad. You're driving to work.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
People look at you like a wuss bag if you're not in your car out there.
Yeah.
And it made me a better driver, I will say. I got in a lot of squirrely situations that I never experienced around here that I'd say benefit me in the long run.
I was talking to my mom about it this morning, and I was saying how it wasn't really an issue that they didn't, like, the roads would eventually get cleaned up, but it sometimes took days after the storm for the roads to be where we would find them. Like, around here, people keep up with the roads, so essentially they're never bad, right? The roads are always basically bare here, but up there things do get a little more squirrely, and it was never really an issue, except rather than we literally live 5 minutes from the mountain, right? But if there was snow on the ground, I'm not saying 5-minute drive to the mountain.
No way.
I was like 45-minute drive to the mountain, and there's no problem. Obviously, I had 4-wheel drive, and you just take it nice and easy. But like you said, it does train you to be a better driver. You got to carry your momentum, or more importantly, when you're going down an icy hill, you have to make sure you have little to no momentum, because once you start sliding, you might not stop. And I saw that happen a couple times. People sliding right out onto Route 100. Dangerous business if you're not ready for it. So you just prep for it and be as ready as you can be. We don't really have much any good pictures or video, I guess, on hand to pull up. I see Carter's clicking around here.
You can use Instagram on the computer.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to go. I'll pull up the Instagram page. It's just seeing stuff. See, I can't make it bigger than that.
Oh yeah, that was a good video.
Oh yeah, if you restart it, like that's our
Wait, this is someone's Instagram or is this Facebook?
This is
That was
me.
Ryder's
Oh,
Instagram.
Ryder, yeah, do I even follow you on Instagram? I feel like I didn't even see any of these pictures.
Is there? Look, Kirby. Shout out Kirby.
Kirby's comment.
Yeah, can you restart this one?
Yeah. Let's see.
Or,
And can we get it with sound?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be copywritten?
I mean, I posted on Instagram without any actual, no credits to it or anything. So I feel like if it's
Well, if
If
it's got a real song in it, it will get claimed on our channel. But
It says original audio, but
yeah, I wrote the song.
okay,
This is a Ryder original.
yeah, this is an original song. We'll just go with it. This was our apartment, guys. All these exterior shots. This is where we lived.
Yeah, I took a lot of video of it.
That was Calvin there. Okay, this is more outside of our apartment.
Had the backyard terrain part.
Yeah, we didn't utilize it enough. Regular show.
So yeah, that's what our whole winter consisted of.
Yeah,
right there.
that's you can use that as a short summary. Yeah, cut back to us. I don't want to see all of Ryder's Instagram. Cut back to me.
It's Caleb at the pig roast.
Yeah, shout out to the Big Rose. It doesn't look like the best picture of me. Get rid of it. You still got that up? No, okay, good.
No.
You're back to me. Good. Thank God. I always get worried. Carter is a great producer. God bless Carter in all his producing duties. Sometimes he can be slow on the trigger finger over there in terms of.
You know,
And I'm
do
not
think
trying to give you crap. I seriously think you do a good job. I don't think I could do it. I'm just saying.
that might get a strike. That might get a strike for music.
I think we probably will get copyright strike for
think
music.
so?
It's
no
a
big
good
deal.
Ryder
It's
said
no big deal.
Ryder said he wrote the song though.
No.
Was it?
Oh man.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's like a little goofy little song.
Well, you never know. You never know. We might not get claimed, but I think there's a good chance we will. But no big deal. I think it was worth playing the video to give you guys a context. That was our apartment. All those shots of that weird looking building. That was where we lived.
Very famous building.
Very famous.
That's worth mentioning.
Dave Sellers designed it. And, you can look it up. There's books about it, or a book. Probably multiple
I
coffee
think they're
table
working
books.
on a documentary. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a trailer for the documentary on YouTube. We don't need to play that here. I saw it once and I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, I found out. So the kids that moved into our unit. So we had a great time, but it was a freaking racket. I mean, we were paying an arm and a leg
Yeah.
to be there and eating grilled cheese for breakfast. But it was fun. It was a great time.
We probably
But-
wouldn't have eaten if Aunt Amy didn't send us food.
Yeah, she is. Shout out Amy.
Shout out.
And but I found out the kids that moved in now, I think it's a young couple our age.
Yep.
They're paying $200 more than we were, and they haven't had a shower since they moved in.
Jesus.
Because they're
Christ.
redoing the shower, but like just not getting it done. So the
That's
bathroom's
insane.
just ripped apart, and they're paying
Well,
more than
that
we
makes
did.
you feel good, though.
Yeah.
That makes you feel better about it. I mean,
Yeah, someone's getting fucked harder than we were. I guess. I guess you can feel good about that.
we could have been paying that much.
And I think the thing is too is we were more stubborn. Like I bet if she came in there, it's like I'm gonna put a new shower in, we would know what that would entail and be
Yeah.
like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
You can leave that one in.
Yeah. And we helped around. We did some odds and ends, some painting, and shoveling, helping around.
I bet now that
Helping
we're
the
gone, they
neighbors.
miss us dearly. They ran us out of there, but now there's
right.
no firewood being stacked and no doors being fixed. And they're
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
We just were nice and helpful people, and we like to be nice and helpful.
I tried
just,
to be.
just for the sake of being helpful. Yeah, I feel like I tried to be as well. If there was ever a scenario where I had the free time and somebody needed an extra set of hands, I was always there.
Caleb was baking cookies and handing out brownies.
Petting cats.
Yeah, I cat sat. I stacked wood.
That's an exaggeration.
But also, you know, and maybe again, maybe you could consider this just leaving garbage in the yard. But I did build a pizza oven over there. I thought that was a nice gesture as well. You know, at least came from a good place, whether or not it was received as such.
It did have a rough look to it, but it worked.
It's very
the
functional.
whole
so-
place had a rough look to it.
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
point.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, yeah, you want to talk about the table we took apart?
Oh, man.
This
Yeah.
table, I don't know what Joker put this table in, but it's like a linoleum top table. Like it's just like the cheapest piece of shit countertop table you could possibly find. And some genius brainiac decided to chisel into these structural boards on the wall. Like these are like I forget, it's like slab wood, right? It's like open face boards, like the kind of stuff that you don't paint, you just leave it wooden, and it's like structural, so it's not easy to replace this. This genius, whoever does this, they chiseled into the wall to screw in a linoleum table with drywall screws. So naturally, we decided to get rid of it, but that caused the problem.
More
as well.
room for activities.
Yeah, that's all we wanted. We wanted to, you know, do some aerobics.
We wanted to put a carpet down, but we never got a carpet.
Yeah.
No, we did get the record player though. Shout out
that was nice.
Ashlyn with the record player.
Big come up.
And then, but what happened is you guys moved out, and I was last guy there,
Yeah,
last man standing, and I had to put it in myself.
which must
So
have
I'm
been
like,
a bitch.
oh, it was miserable, dude. And you know the braces that came up diagonally from it. So as soon as I re-drilled, same holes, just split to shit. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to like rebuild these. And I was like, who am I kidding? And I just sent like 14 deck screws through that thing, every angle. Just
That's what that
and-
shit deserved.
I just
That'll
walked
hold
out, never said a thing about it.
Lucky you didn't just light a match and walk out. No, I mean all things said, we had a good time there, and
Oh, it was a blast.
and we
And it was a
appreciate it.
good-
We
it
were
was a nice
grateful.
place.
We were grateful for our time there.
We lived in a big fort,
Yeah,
realistically,
it was literally like a fort.
because we could talk to each other from our beds that were on separate floors.
Yeah, there was a porthole you could open up and you could see us.
Ryder.
Yeah, we're laying in bed, just going crazy. Like we're just. I was about to say we're laying in bed going crazy. That doesn't sound
Compromise.
great. Pause.
Stream ends.
But no, we were just
You know,
getting really rowdy anyway, and Ryder was like up in bed already, and we were trying to get him to come out of bed. We're like, Ryder, come down. And finally, did you tell us to shut up, or you said something, and we're like, uh-oh, Dad's mad.
I don't remember.
No, it was just,
I was just upset because I wasn't. I had to go to work in the morning, so I couldn't
yeah.
tack on the fun with you
You
guys.
weren't
I
on the
was just
same
trying to like go
wavelength.
to bed. Yeah.
And we were definitely being a nuisance to the entire complex that night. But hey, so be it. I think some of the most fun, like if you heard us playing music, if you wanted to stop by, like our door was open. Like,
Yeah.
Into that point also, if you wanted to come and say shut the fuck up,
Oh.
our door was also open.
Yeah, totally.
So, but nobody ever did. Nobody ever complained. So again, I just felt like it was kind of the right place for it. Like we just were there to have fun, and that's what we did.
you know, that's really how you guys fell in love with each other
Yeah.
once you started playing music together. Because you know, Ryder's always been a music talent with the guitar, but then Caleb came along to sing, and then between the two of them, you know, Caleb singing gave Ryder a little more confidence to sing, and then, you know, then you were off to the races.
We kind
Making
of
songs.
well, it was funny because Ryder would play his guitar a little bit here and there, not like a ton, right? And we'd be sitting around listening, and I don't know if you you were just trying to get us to play more instruments, I think, right? Like bang on the cajon or do anything, right? Like you're just trying to spur anything because said of 3 people sitting around watching you play guitar, like we could have something there, right? And after just listening to you play for a while, I was like, well, like I know I can make up lyrics for a song, right? But it's never serious. It's just I think it's stupid, and I don't think much of it. Like it's not like I think like if I was a total idiot, I'd just be like, yeah, I'm a rapper. I'm a really slick rapper. I got a cat and a bat, and we'll go get a fat tat. This girl's got a nice rack. Check out my new hat.
Know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? J-Rock in the rock pile. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if I was a real bozo, I could just be like, oh, yeah, I'm a rapper. For whatever reason, I have some minor ability to rhyme things. And so given a simple beat, we can put together a little bit of a scheme and just have fun with it. But the more we did it, the more we just were genuinely having fun with it. And I think we got to a place where something was definitely sparking because just from rampaging every night and trying to make silly songs and trying to make each other laugh, eventually we hit on a couple of things that ended up sticking.
Well, it's nice because there's really no judgment in music, and it was very good the way you got involved because it wasn't like a lot of people you're like, oh, sing, and they're like, no, when they totally could,
Right?
But they're too self-conscious or worked up or whatever. And like you weren't trying to like be good,
Right?
And like stand out, and like you were just like, fuck it, I'll sing.
Yeah.
I don't care. No one's gonna make fun of me here, and then it was awesome.
Yeah. It turned out it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, not to toot my own. No, I mean, honestly, as far as singing ability, I don't think I can really carry a note or sing, but just in terms of making up new lyrics and just again being silly with it, kind of like a Weird Al inspired kind of a thing.
Entertainment act.
Yeah, I don't really know what to call it, but or like when Jimmy Fallon does song parodies, that's kind of along the vein, right? Of kind of what we landed on, but we talked about it. We determined we're not unveiling any songs tonight. I was talking to some friends that have seen us play before, and there were some murmurings. Big Deborah might make a debut, but I said, we talked about it before the show. We said, we're not doing it tonight. So tonight's not it.
In-person thing.
Yeah.
If you want to see it, you got to be here.
Yeah, you really do. It definitely probably would not translate through the camera. It'd probably be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
So someday, who knows? But for today, yeah, right now it's just local legend that we play music. It's there's no hard evidence of that.
Let's spice this up here. Remember the house Beta and I were sitting, you guys came and visited?
Yeah.
Moved out.
Oh, yeah?
You moved out or they moved out?
We moved out.
Okay.
Where are you at now?
Haunted as shit.
Was it for real?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
lying.
Nope.
You
I never believed in ghosts or anything like that, man. I got ran out of there by that house.
For real?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
So
Wait, that's why you moved out because it's haunted.
Okay.
yeah, I was like,
there.
I'm not staying here another night.
Because we stayed overnight, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and there's a nice big window, and I heard something or whatever. I didn't think there was gonna be a ghost, but I got the chills looking out that window because there's like tree out the window with no leaves.
That bedroom window, you were
very
facing that shed, right?
No, I was.
I
facing-
faced the shed.
You remember that morning? That next day, that morning, we went out to this shed, and the door was swinging in the breeze, and the window was busted in the shed.
Yep.
I thought that was really eerie at the time because there was no evidence of what broke that.
So get this one. I was staying there alone overnight, totally by myself. Veda was out of town. Front door locked.
Yep.
We always keep the door locked every time we come inside, locked. I'm asleep. Middle of the night. Crash. Swings wide open.
Oh,
Jesus,
just
fuck.
balls to the wall. And I was
Damn.
So that
Was it windy though?
maybe
Moderately.
but it's been windy as shit, and the doors had no problem staying closed.
And it's locked.
Yeah.
Now, here's my next question: was when you went to check on the door, was it still locked or had it come unlocked?
Still locked.
Okay.
But the
Do you,
door.
do you
opened.
think? Do you think you didn't shut the door tightly? You think you locked it and maybe didn't shut it tightly, and that's why the wind blew it open?
Probably, maybe. But it's been way worse.
Okay, yeah. Let's hear more
And-
ghost evidence.
And then okay, so yeah. It was always felt unsettling, like he said, you just you get the chills over
Yeah,
there.
definitely big chills.
Yeah, but I was there, so that happened the first time I was there alone. Then I was there alone the second time, and I was just sitting there watching ski videos, just hanging out. Because I was past the point of creeped out going there. Like every time I went there, it was like trying to be cool, trying to feel good, trying to
it's
get
not
comfy.
haunted.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
And I'm
It's all in
sitting
my
there.
head.
I've got the TV on, and I'm on my computer for like comfort noise, and I just had like the worst panic attack of my life. That was like, I need to leave right now. Like this is not cool that I'm here. And
Something came over you.
and like
demons?
my eye, like trust your gut, right?
Yeah.
My gut was out the door before I was. Like my eyes were like twitching, and I was like, and like you'll talk to yourself in your head and be like, chill out. Like it's not that bad. Like every time I did that, something would like creak or tip or fall over in the house. And I was like, fuck this. I'm leaving. Open the door. Wind. And this isn't in a windy part of the yard. It's like on the back side of the house.
Yeah,
That door you guys came
it's
in.
actually
I'm like
kind of
leaving.
under a.
I open it
thing.
as soon as the handle turns. Wind takes it. Wham! Same thing as the front door slams open.
They wanted you gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I got I was walking to my truck, and then of course I'm like, all right, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Like
You're there
like-
to watch the house.
exactly. Like I'm like, am I really leaving because of ghosts right now? So I stop. I'm like halfway to my truck in the backyard. Close my eyes. Take a deep breath. My instincts in that moment were like, that is the worst decision you've ever made in your life. Like when I closed my eyes and took that breath, I was the girl in the horror movie. You know what I mean? Like it was like my spider senses were like, you better get in that fucking truck right now, dude.
What are you gonna see when you open your eyes?
Yeah, and I called Veda and I was like, I'm never going there again. So we packed up. We went a couple days later, grabbed all our shit, cleaned it, moved out. Next to the people, we were like, we're done, dude.
Now, did you tell the people you thought there was ghosts? Or?
No.
No, you didn't.
No.
I mean, they must know about.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's their
Well,
house,
that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to hear if they said, "Well, we've had this before."
Were they ghosts?
oh,
They were never
Goodbye.
real the whole time.
Yeah.
You talk to somebody in town. Oh, that house? It's been condemned for 30 years.
You ought not go up to that house. Yeah.
I would say two things. One, that night when we were staying the night, everyone else had gone up to bed, and I was still kind of hanging out in the living room. And I was just kind of hanging around, and the lights are on downstairs. It's not like creepy or anything. I think even the TV was still on, and I was like, oh, I think I'll go up. And there's a whole nice queen size bed all made up for me. I was like, I'll go sleep in the bed. No reason to sleep on the couch. And I just go to shut the TV off, and the TV did the thing from what's the movie?
Poltergeist.
Yeah, it does the
The
poltergeist thing when I shut it. It wasn't like just going to static, but you know how like those
An
old
old-
TVs, it goes into the middle.
Yeah.
It goes
yeah.
like
Yeah, it starts on the edges, then.
and then goes to black.
Mhm.
It does that, which I haven't seen in I don't know how long. I don't know the last time I saw
Yeah,
a TV
for a
like
flat
this.
screen TV.
And I
like
was
a
going
new
to say,
TV.
too, I mean, I lived there for 2 months. Never shut off like that for me.
That's
Just clean off.
I didn't really even give it much of a thought, but I'm just watching it and it's just like you said, the poltergeist thing when I clicked it off, and that's all I was thinking of was the poltergeist, and I was like, God, that's fucked. Can't wait to go to sleep, But yeah, then the next morning we get up and outside in the yard, there's this little house, like a playhouse kind of deal out in the yard, and
Bunkhouse.
the door was swinging in the breeze to this little playhouse, and one of the glass windows was smashed, but it was smashed out, like the glass was popping out, like it had been broken from the inside, and the door was swinging in the breeze. So you tell me what happened there. I
I'm
thought
getting chills.
I was, again, like, I was not really thinking ghosts when we were spending the night there. The only reason I even bring up the Poltergeist TV thing is because now you're talking about ghosts there again. It didn't register as anything to me at the time. But the next morning, that was genuinely creepy to me, that the door was swinging in the breeze and the glass was broken from the inside going out.
Yeah, because also you said that door was locked.
Yeah, I mean, that one didn't shut very well to begin with.
Right. It was just
but
kind of like a barn
still,
door
yeah,
sort of thing.
it had that classic.
Yeah.
You know.
The ghosts were probably mad that Calvin disrespected it. Disrespected those people walking by. Maybe they were the ones that cursed it.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah. Well, and see, I feel less inclined that it was like ghosts. And I was getting more of like a Monster House vibe.
Yeah.
Where like the whole house was an
has a-
entity that was like, I don't want you here. You're not family or whatever. You didn't work for this. You didn't build this. Something along those lines. I think the house was just like, this ain't your place.
Do you guys ever have like sleep paralysis? You ever been there?
Never paralysis, no.
But have you ever heard about it or heard people talk
I've
about
heard
it?
about it.
Yeah.
So is it okay? Because I've been sleeping, but then also like not sleeping. Like I can hear what's going on in the room, but I'm still asleep. You know what I mean? Or like I'm in between sleep and awake.
Yeah.
Like I could move if I wanted to, but I just don't want to because I'm tired and sleeping.
Well,
Is that the same thing?
No, it's
no.
not.
So sleep paralysis is where your eyes are open and you're awake, but your body is totally off.
And you can't move.
Cannot move if you wanted to. It's off. But I don't know too much about it. But the thing I was going to mention about it, just because we're on Ghost right now, there's a similar character everyone sees. It's like a kind of you can just look it up if you want to Google sleep paralysis demon. I swear to God, this is like a common reoccurring vision that people with sleep paralysis see, and they all give it a similar description.
The Babadook.
I think it's more or less is like the Babadook. But
Yeah, these are
these are some spooky,
Stirring up the night. Oh, look at the sucker down to the
spooky
left.
pictures.
What's that, like a brain octopus?
Which one would you?
click on that
Is there anything
that
with a hat?
I do not like the one.
Guy
in
with a
the-
hat?
I don't like any of them, actually.
No, these are all pretty scary.
Yeah, sure. Well, I really hate that people just like willingly come up with this.
No,
Like
that's
these are
that's
all
what's
man-made
scarier, though.
images
That's what's
that we
scary.
could just like
you think
not.
no, you
have.
think the problem is
That's
if,
more like it.
if you if you have that image, right? If you're the guy that drew that image, that thing is in your head, right? It's not like these things don't exist. They exist to these people that draw them, right? That's the scary part about it. When people draw these scary things, is inside their head that thing exists. But yeah, anyway, all I was going to say, my thought, again, in regards to sleep paralysis, there's like this creature people say they see.
which has a hat on, allegedly.
I think it looks like the Babadook. And here's my story why. Because I had like a Monsters, Inc. moment where I was looking at my closet once. This was years ago. But I was looking at my closet, right? And I thought I'm looking in my closet and looking at the outline of a person, right? In my mind, immediately went to, yes, okay, is this on stream?
Yeah.
Get this pulled up? Yes. So I thought I had the Babadook in my closet. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm having sleep paralysis.
I see him.
I see him. But then turns out I could move my arms because I was able to grab my phone and turn on my flashlight. And it was just my jacket hanging in the closet. It was not the Babadook. Yeah,
You ever
that'll
seen
give
that
you some
movie? You ever
nightmares.
seen the Babadook?
You ever watched it, Ryder?
No,
Me and Calvin, we're big fans.
I
right?
hate horror movies.
This though,
It's kind of funny. It's a little. The kid is a little annoying. The mom is kind of annoying.
it's not a typical horror movie, right?
No.
It's
It's a mix between Home Alone and like a horror movie.
Like a little kid's horror movie saying.
no,
I don't know, that
no,
did
no,
look
no, no,
pretty
no, no.
Scary to me.
Okay, so it is a horror movie by every standard, right? It's made like a horror movie. It's designed to scare you. But what you end up finding out, like, there's no ghost, right? There's no demon. Like there's a representation of the Babadook. There is a physical representation of the movie, but that physical representation is a metaphor for the trauma this mother's going through after her husband has died and she's trying to raise this kid. The Babadook is like this whole metaphor for like stress and anxiety. And as this woman is able to put her life back together, all of a sudden the Babadook goes away and he's gone. And it's really told from this kid's perspective because the mom is more or less the Babadook, right? She doesn't know it because she's going through all this anxiety and panic. But from the kid's perspective, she is more or less the Babadook.
What I remember liking about the movie is the kid builds homemade
Crossbow.
Crossbow.
He has like a mace
catapult. You know,
to fight the Babadook.
There's like it's like a cool contraptions. Reminds me of Kids Next Door, like the weapons they use.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun movie. But well, I'm glad to hear you had a real ghost experience because I
can't confirm ghosts because I never saw anything like
Eerie
out
feeling.
of place or like any physical figures. It was just like energy.
The door
just,
opening.
like, doors opening.
That's
We had a
pretty-
light turn on us one night. That kind of
there's a
So-
lot
Well,
of
you left that out. I mean, that's a pretty big one.
there's a lot
light
of
turning
ambient energy trapped in that valley. Like it's like I don't know what it is. It's ambient frequencies that are just floating through the airwaves out there.
is
Some,
some extraterrestrial activity.
Could
Some
be.
alien. Now you're. Yeah,
Well, if you
Native
got-
American burial grounds.
that
Yeah.
could be it.
if you want to stay on ghosts, we used to joke that the
Awkward weather
lodge was
patterns.
haunted.
Oh,
over
yeah.
at
I've heard
Mount
that
Ellen.
from multiple people.
Yeah. If you've worked over there at night, certainly you'd have experiences. I think I told some of them on the podcast, right? About the
Yeah,
bathroom
the
door
dead
slamming.
the dead guy.
Yeah, the guy that died in there, the guy that literally died falling down the stairs. Well, you might
I
know.
thought he
You might
died
know
on
better.
the trail,
Well, I'm sure.
like
I'm
close
sure,
to the lodge. I thought he was outside. Maybe not.
I'm sure multiple people have died on the trail or in that kind of scenario. So specifically the story I had been told over in the Mount Ellen Lodge, you know, it's got that messed up staircase where the ceiling is kind of crooked.
Going to the second or the third floor, like going to the top floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the middle to the top floor, there's this staircase, and the building had been renovated from an older, smaller building, so the staircase is kind of odd, and the bar is upstairs, right? So naturally, people are hammered up there. This older guy in his 70s, he was drunk leaving the bar. He was coming down that staircase and he tripped down it and hit his head and he ended up dying there. And part of the story that I was told is they had to replace some of the carpet squares at the bottom of the stairs because he had bled all over the place. And I had told that guy died. Like whether or not he was pronounced dead on the scene, I don't know. But certainly he bled on the carpet and then died later that night. So that was the story I heard specifically about that lodge. Yeah, its validity I can't swear to, but this is the legend I had been told.
These fries will give you diarrhea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We covered some good stuff here. You got anything else you wanted to bring up while you're here? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah. What else is going on in for Ryder
Yeah.
that you'd like to share?
What do you got? Anything?
When's his solo album coming out? When's
Haven't made great work of that. It's really been a drifter year for me. Had a lot of plans before we moved out, and we moved out, so I'd made new plans, and those plans changed. Way of life, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
trying to round everything back up.
trying
It's
to get
like
ready for an attack.
when everything outside of work for me has changed, but work stays the same. It's like I'm too busy working to take care of. It's not like, okay, I lost my apartment, I'm gonna regroup. It's like I'm gonna just work and then figure the rest out. But then
Yeah, we'll figure it
you're
out.
too whooped to get anything done after, and
Yeah.
so still looking for an apartment or something.
Still eating China Fun.
Dude, haven't had China Fun since we lived together. Probably.
Oh,
Really.
I went by the other day and was like, no way.
they're gonna go out of business.
I know.
We would just finish paying our rent for the month, and none of us were that financially savvy, and we wouldn't have any groceries in the fridge, and we'd be like, what's the plan for dinner tonight? We going to spend $100 on Chinese food or what?
What was it? Expensive Chinese food?
Well,
Not
regular.
really, no.
It-
Yeah.
We
But
just
it
bought
was-
a lot of it.
Yeah, it was like the same as wontons, I would say. It was
Was that
good
good?
American Chinese
But this
food.
guy, the guys that ran China Fun were really something else.
They were. They would fuck with you hard.
They didn't give a shit. They'd
No.
lay into you. They'd,
Were
We
they
bought-
actually Chinese people?
oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we ordered 3 different styles of chicken. We got the chicken fingers, General Tso, and then teriyaki, maybe, or something.
We got wings too.
Oh, wings. That's what it was. And they said we were ordering too much chicken. They would give you shit for pretty
You
much
ordered
anything.
too much chicken.
I wasn't gonna try the voice. I can't do the voice.
I thought I'd throw it out there just because I remember him saying it.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
I'm just quoting the guy on the phone.
No, I mean they've been there for years. You know what I mean? I think they know what their clientele is, and they know they can get you to laugh by just giving you shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's really all it was. Is they just wanted to have a good time.
I think
in
that's
there.
them having a good time too.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because it's straight up like this family. That's all they do.
Yeah. They just
They
cook
just work
Chinese
there
food.
and cook Chinese food.
And they literally don't give a shit. Like, you can order whatever you want. They'll make it for you and have it ready when they tell you. They might say some unhinged shit on the phone for sure. But it's in the spirit of fun.
yeah.
Yeah. They called us fat Americans more than once.
Yeah.
More than once, yeah.
Probably every time we went in there.
Stupid fat American.
Yeah, literally.
Or people would be like, what he. There was only one guy who did like the phone and checkout, and he hated when people would order in the store.
Right.
Like, it's like call in or get fucking bent.
Yeah.
And I'd like go in to pay, and people would be in there looking at the menu, and he'd be like, "Come back when you know what you want. Get the hell out of here!" He'd like throw a menu at him and like run him out the door.
But that's really kind of how you have to run your business there, because if you do things like that, you run a tight ship. You're gonna get the respect of the local people that are just trying to get dinner and get home. That aren't out on vacation, and then on top of that, like you. How much catering to the lowest common denominator do you want to do as a business owner? You know what I mean? Like they do enough business there. They're not interested in holding anyone's hand and walking them through the Chinese menu. Like you're saying, they're like if you want to order something, I'm more than happy to take your order, but get the fuck out of my restaurant.
Yeah.
You're not standing around in my lobby. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? Do you have anything vegetarian? It's half the menu's vegetarian. What do you mean?
That's what I kind of like about that area we've been in a lot as a whole, is just like everything's kind of run that way.
Right.
Compared to like around here, it's a lot of like, I'm your servant, take your time. However I can help, and over there it's
ass-kissing.
like, it's like, come to me like a man, like,
Yeah. treat me like a person.
exactly.
Or I really liked, again, part of like me trying to make the most of the situation. I figured out very quick, if you weren't like friends with these people, like if the bar is busy, you might not get a beer, right? If you're not friends with these people, if they don't know you, again, nobody's gonna hold your hand, right? And be like, do you need anything? Like, what can I get you? Like, anywhere you go, you're not gonna get that, right? Unless you know them. If you know them, you can walk through the door and there's a line of people 10 deep, at the bar and they go, "Yo, Caleb," and they slide you your drink
all the time.
You don't say a word. You don't have to order anything. They let you cut the line. But that's again part of why I figured that out like right away, and I was like, okay, I gotta ingrain myself in the community here. That's why I went out.
Operation Infiltration.
Calvin was friends with this local guy. He worked for him shoveling snow, and you know, like I was
Great guy.
You know, I was already working. Just I wasn't always 40 hours, but I'd get about 40 hours a week at the mountain or close to it, right? And then I was trying to go skiing outside of that. I wasn't desperate to go shovel driveways, but when he asked for help, I was like excited that I had this opportunity to like get in with these guys because these are the local guys. These are the guys that I want to know my name, right? Essentially in this case, because again, like I said, it made all the difference. You show up places, people know you, they're happy to see you, you cut the line. That's the way I want life to be. And I was totally able to manifest that.
Another thing I like too is it's very everything's very upfront in a way of like, if you're a bad person that did bad things, you are not welcome in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like around here it's a little more like, you know,
that's private.
The sex offender comes into the restaurant and they serve them
that's
like
old business.
You know,
Don't
and
talk
then
about that.
In Vermont, you know, someone walks in and they're like,
Pervert.
turn around. Yeah,
out.
like exactly. Like I've seen it happen. They've been like, get the fuck out of here, blank, you know, like you're not coming in here, you know. And
it's no, I mean it just was a different environment than what we were used to.
Same but different. You know?
Well, you're always going to be able to find parallels, but I guess the difference is the culture wasn't or you know, like very rarely did people even care about what I was doing for work. You know what I mean? Like 99% of the conversation was just around skiing, snowboarding, the snow, the mountain, the outside, the weather, right? Like or we talk about how we were jamming the night before. You know what I mean? Like it just people's priorities are in a different order, right? They weren't just so work focused, or if you were work focused, it's because your job was your passion. Like nobody just had the dead end job that they didn't care about necessarily, or if they did, that wasn't the first thing everybody wanted to talk about when you met them. Hey, what do you do for a living? Like it was like hey, nice to meet you. Have you been up to have you been up Heaven's Gate yet? You know what I mean? Like it was just a little different in terms of that kind of stuff. What do you got over there, Calvin? You hit Ryder with a couple good questions there. You got some more interviewing to do.
Well, I was gonna ask Carter some questions. Well, you know what? What I was gonna bring up while Ryder was here, I was gonna put everybody on blast because, like we said in the beginning of the episode, Ryder and I have been friends since 7th grade baseball, and anytime I mentioned Ryder around the three of my brothers, they'd be like, "Oh, Ryder. Oh, what did Ryder do this time? Oh, why do you hang out with that kid?" I mean, I don't think you ever said something like that, but you shit on me and Ryder like nonstop for no reason. For absolutely no reason.
I'm not laughing because I'm laughing at shitting on him. I'm laughing because I really don't know what you're talking about. To be
Come
honest.
on, don't even try to pretend.
No,
don't
okay.
even pretend.
No, I'll tell you straight. If you want to know, I'll tell you exactly what it is. And here's the piece that you're missing, right? Okay,
Yeah.
You are our younger brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me to you, from him to you, you're always gonna be just little baby Calvin, little pissant Calvin, and everything you do to an extent is gonna be a joke, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So naturally, the first time you make a friend that is not one of your siblings and you start having plans with your friend outside of the house, of course we're going to shit on that. Did you see any of us having friends outside the house? I don't think so. So you go having a friend down.
Speak for yourself here.
Yeah, because you were Mr. Popular, huh?
Well, you know, to be honest, if you got to give him a little credit. You gotta give him a little.
Yeah. Again, I was just trying to use a little bit of hyperbole to make a joke there, but
Yeah.
but that's more or less what I would say is going on. Like I don't think it was ever from a serious place, but it was just like yeah, you are and forever will be our younger brothers. So yeah, you're gonna take a lot of shit there, pal. But hey, this kid knows how to use a shovel. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Is that the question you were going to ask me?
And is that
No,
a good
I was just
answer?
gonna see. I was gonna see what you were doing because you've been kind of quiet the whole episode.
Oh.
But that just came to my mind.
No, I mean the whole episode you guys have been talking about Vermont, and I wasn't in Vermont, and I mean
You
I
did
went.
come visit.
Yeah, I wouldn't visit it.
What
but
was your perspective on it when you came to visit?
I mean, I thought it was different. I would say.
Yeah. Did you like it at all? Or?
Yeah, it was a cool. I was a cool place. I could see the appeal of working at a ski mountain, living and working at one, but that lifestyle, like there was a video of you were given a tour of your apartment.
Yep.
It's on your YouTube channel, and I can remember Curtis and we were sitting in the living room up there, and we watched it when it was uploaded, and we were like, Jesus Christ, like. It looked like it was just misery to live in the apartment you were in. That's not something that really interests me. That's not the lifestyle I was.
Part of it
interested
you got to
in living.
remember though, like that was like our first apartment, right? Like, did you guys ever have anything close to that before?
nothing
Like,
to
I had a
compare,
college dorm before that, and that was the closest thing I had to living on my own. And then we had this. It was decent size. I mean, there was 3 of us in there, and we weren't necessarily on top of each other. The kitchen wasn't big, but again, there's 3 of us. Generally, one person would kind of cook. If any cooking was being done, usually we all cook for each other. Like whatever was being cooked was to be shared.
Yeah, totally.
So I don't know. It just never felt like that big of an issue.
It was certainly a special taste. You know, it's not everybody's.
You
cup
had
of
to
tea.
buy into it, right? Like we all bought into this idea as soon as we saw the idea. Like as soon as we saw the building, like you said, it was like a fort, and we all bought into this idea of like let's be Lost Boys, let's live in a fort, and let's go skiing every day.
Totally, yeah. It was.
We were sold on the idea, so you know, getting someone else to buy into it, I could see would be hard. But
It kind of it was kind of rugged and harsh,
yeah,
but I think that's what you said. Like that's what made it count. Like the Lost Boys, we were like, let's live in this crazy tall shit shack, and
for better or for worse, this is what we're doing.
Some mornings you woke up, it was freezing cold. You know?
It was literally freezing cold some mornings.
Could you hear every movement that a person made in the house because it was so creaky?
Absolutely.
Even the neighbors.
An impossible draft to fight. Absolutely.
yeah. Drafty as hell.
Was the plumbing fucked up?
Absolutely. Was there mice living in the house? Absolutely.
Did Caleb leave vomit on the rug for 2 weeks?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can, like I said, I can see the appeal for you guys. I can see what made it fun. But.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I don't think Ryder ever said what he did at Sugar Bush.
Oh yeah, that's true. Your job title?
True.
I mean,
Do you have a title there?
I guess so. They call me Skitter the Boy, aka Boy Genius, aka Ryan Risworth.
Ryan was Risworth. That's good.
But I work in the terrain park. I guess technically right now I'm a terrain park technician because we're doing all the welding and fabricating and woodwork and what have you not.
You've got to like weld rails. You've got to work on the like equipment for the snowcat, right? Chairlifts.
I haven't done chairlifts.
Okay, but
yeah, snowcats and rails
Yep.
and like some odd job type things.
do they have other welders there?
Sort of. There's one guy who's like their snowmaking welder, so he does like a lot of the pipe stuff.
Yeah, pipe fitter.
Yeah, sort of. I don't think he's like. I think when they really need something serious done, they hire out.
You
but-
went to school for welding, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but there's nothing
multiple times.
but I've had this weird run of everything's not completed, but it wasn't so the rundown is in high school, my senior year, I was like, I want to do this welding program. That was a 2-year program. And they were like, you can't, it's a 2-year program. And my whole family got together and was kind of like, screw that. Like, he can do whatever he wants. It's school.
Yeah.
Like, isn't he here to learn? So they got me in, and I did 1 of the 2 years, but I learned a lot. And then in college, I was supposed to go for welding, and I got totally fucked. And they were like, you don't want to do welding here. You want to do
I want to
ski
name
area.
drop that. What was that lady's name? She was the
Brit or something
it-
like that. Brianna,
I know.
Brit Rasman, something like that.
Anyway, she was the worst.
Yeah.
She was the salesman for the college, and I mean,
Totally screwed me.
She was there to make money for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
and she
for
way,
Leadville.
Yeah, she way oversold everything. And
Well, and
like
that's what
Ryder's
any
saying.
college will do, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're
I mean, it
looking at
makes
colleges,
sense.
just know that they are trying to sell you on something. It is a lot of money. They are going to lie about everything. And anybody that works for the college, they are a salesperson for the college. You cannot trust anything they say. They will lie to your face with a smile about what may or may not happen on their campus. So that's not an uncommon experience, but I think both you guys had it pretty rough out there in Colorado.
So
We
what-
got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did she oversell?
So
Well,
I was going to do the welding. I was going to do welding at that college we both went to. Like, they had a welding.
which is a
course
much
and-
cheaper program.
Yeah, cheaper, way less classes, more time to ski and work.
Yep.
And she was like, oh, they don't really know what they're doing if you want to be a serious welder, but you like skiing, so you should do ski area operations. And Calvin was doing that. And I was like, well, I mean, screw it. That sounds fun. And then I get out there and I talk to the welding teacher after I'm already too far gone. And he's like, and he totally knew what he was doing. And that I could have gotten like pipe certs and like top dog shit there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was beside myself about it. And then like, it really went downhill for me out there. I just started dropping all my classes because I was so pissed off about that and switching to welding classes, but it was like too late. And I was going to have to stay like another year extra if I switched and all this shit. So left,
Yep.
dropped out,
Get the hell out of
Worked
there.
at Steamboat.
worked at Steamboat. That was cool. And then this past year, I did some stick welding school. And basically, this guy works for Vermont Job Corps and worked at this other class I went to. And in the class, he couldn't give me certifications because I wasn't testing in like the Job Corps building. I was in the other building he was teaching at night. And he took my cert tests to his other shop. They passed certification. And he was like, you passed, but I can't give you the paperwork
Oh, okay.
because
I
you
gotcha.
had to be in this
Right.
to actually,
right.
like, you know, he was like, you didn't do
But-
it.
So essentially, though, like, you know your skills are there.
Yeah.
You could go back someplace else to get recertified.
Yeah, totally.
But
That's
but
the short-term plan.
but for sure, like you have the knowledge now that you know you are a competent welder, and if these certifications are something you end up wanting or needing, it shouldn't be hard for you to go get at this point.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Some of them. Not all.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wide range like anything.
Well,
else.
and usually with like a certification, the biggest problem ends up being there's usually a time thing, or like you have to be like for Carter to be an electrician, he had to be an apprentice for so long. You know, I don't know if welding is similar for certain certifications, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, a lot of it's more like you can just walk in and
Prove
you know
prove
they're
your
either
stuff.
like that weld sucks or they're like yeah like you passed. You know.
Well, you
so-
can't bullshit whether or not
Yeah,
you can weld.
exactly.
you
Yeah,
you either know what you're doing or you don't.
Totally.
And I've scabbed up some pretty hideous shit. I would confidently say I cannot weld, but yeah. Anyway, it's you just can't hide it. There's no bullshitting whether or not you know how to weld. So, but I mean it's cool just to be in the somewhat in the ski industry, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it seems like maybe an unattainable thing. Like from the outside looking in, or like as a kid, I got to a point where I was like, I'm never going to be a professional athlete, right? And so I kind of thought, yeah, right. And you know, I was pretty young when I realized that. Like, it wasn't like a dream I was holding on to for a long time, but I just realized I'm never going to be a professional athlete, and I never thought about how to stay in that sports world without being an athlete. But I kind of feel like you kind of, I mean, you and Calvin both, I say it all the time. I would put you guys at least on, like, if you can't say you're at least what, C level extreme sport athlete, if you were going to say A, B, or C,
C level.
at very
C-team.
least,
C-team.
at very least, right? I think you guys could compete at a low tier. At very least. And I think if you put in the effort, I think you guys are X Games material. That's just from what I've seen. I almost forgot where I was going. I just started pumping you guys up.
Yeah.
Ooh, X Games.
But
Here I
no,
come.
so I realized I was never going to be a pro athlete. I never thought about how to stay in that zone. But you guys, you kind of showed me that you know, you don't have to be a professional skier, but I could still be a part of the business, right? Whether it's working at the mountain or doing anything, you are a part of it. And even though I was the toilet guy, I was the guy that cleaned the shitters at night. You know, people knew my name. Everyone was friendly to me, and I truly was a part of it. Like, everybody from the top down, they recognized, like, hey, you know, if this guy's not here right now, this toilet's not getting clean, and that is an essential part of this operation. So it just was in a very, very small way, even though I was the shit guy, in a very small way, I was part of the industry.
That's not small.
And
that's big.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
a
that's
resort, that's
hey,
big.
believe me, I know some of these shits were huge. But
massive.
yeah. Anyway, it was cool to
Do
be
you
a
ever
part
reach
of it.
into the toilet and grab one out by hand?
What would you
Okay.
call that?
What?
What would you call it?
Barehander?
Barehander.
I'll tell you this.
Hand plunger.
Listen to this story, okay? And I got the most cred.
own the bathrooms.
Was that a Bane
That was
impression?
a bad impression.
You,
Wait.
you walk into the bathroom with just Caleb squatting. Come here.
Oh no. Okay. So I worked with these guys that were professionals, right? 2 guys from Honduras, 1 guy from Mexico. Professionals. These guys are. This is their industry. They're all a little bit older than me, and they have done this for longer than I have. So, no ifs, and, ors, buts. They also gave me plenty of like tips and tricks, like the vacuum cleaner. You want to have like a screwdriver or something in your pocket, something long and flat to clean out the end of the hose on the vacuum, because a lot of times shit gets stuck in there, and you got to break it up, and the vacuum will suck it up, right? Learned all kinds of good tips and tricks from these guys, but one day, the toilet was clogged. Okay. And they eventually got the toilet unclogged so you could flush it, right? But they didn't dare flush it again with the amount of toilet paper and human shit that was in this bowl. They were like, if I flush this again, it's simply just going to overflow. And they're like standing around, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And I'm just like, I got it. Like, I got it. You know, I went in, I gloved up, and then here's what you do. And a lot of people don't know this trick, but I'll teach you it right now. You take a trash bag, right? You open up the trash bag, you stick both arms inside the trash bag. Now, when I have my arms down here, you know, they're completely covered in trash bag. So I stick the bottom of the trash bag into the toilet, and I slowly cup my hands around anything that's in the bowl. And once I kind of got it, you know, in there, then you kind of flip the bag really quick. Flip the bag, and now everything is in the bag,
No,
tied
there's
up.
shit all over the walls, floor, and
No. If you got shit on the walls, you did it wrong. But you do a quick flip of the bag, and now all the stuff is tied up nicely in the bag, and then you throw that into another bag, and then you tie that up, and then you throw that into another bag. Then you take your gloves off and throw those into another bag, and then you go wash your hands and face.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, but I gained a lot of respect from my fellow janitors and custodians that night. And,
I came up with it. I came up with a name for it.
yeah,
The claw machine.
double prizes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Win big.
That's the thing. You got to be willing to take risks like that. And I just, when I sometimes I'll just see a problem and I already know the solution. I say, back up, boys. This one's on me. One thing I did kind of refuse to do, though, in terms of my janitorial duties, when you clean the women's room, you're supposed to check the I forget what they call it. It's like there's like a little metal bin on the
Tampon box.
Yeah, it's the tampon box. Unfortunately, I know it has a professional name for it, but there's wax paper bags in there. And oftentimes, the women failed to get the product into the wax paper bag. So it would just be used product inside of a little metal box on the bathroom stall wall. And oftentimes you had to empty those out and clean those boxes. I tried to stay away from it as best I could. But there were a few times.
You went in barehanded
No.
and you got
God,
HPV.
no. God, no.
Almost fucking died.
So Calvin actually took over my job for me when I ended up leaving in the spring. I trained Calvin. I did a couple nights of on the job training. And what did I tell you, Calvin? I said, what's step one? What do we do first?
With cleaning the toilets, you're saying?
Yeah, when
Cleaning
we
the
go into the bathroom. I said, what's step one?
God only knows.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Step one was glove up.
Oh yeah,
That
No,
was
I do
step
remember
one.
that.
I
Now-
taught you that right
Now
from
you
jump.
say it. Yeah.
I said step one is glove up. I'd make no ifs and ors or buts about it when you're dealing
Glove
with
up and shut up.
yeah, for real. And then later that night, Calvin and I were dry heaving in a bathroom stall because of what we witnessed. But I did this video. I sent a video to Curtis and Carter. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, we're popping Calvin's
I
cherry
remember
tonight.
seeing that.
This was
Hey,
a
Calvin's dry
clogged toilet.
heaving.
The lodge was closed for several days.
Yeah.
And it was sitting there. This poop was sitting in the toilet for at least 2 to 3 days, day and night, marinating. So when you open the door of the bathroom, I mean, it's still underwater, so the scent is covered up a little bit.
Right. But as soon as you disturbed the mass, the odor started radiating out of the...
It looked solid in there, but as soon as
my God.
you touch the water, it like
Mount St. Helens.
I'm gonna dry heave just thinking about
Yeah,
it. It was
alright.
so bad. It was
That's
so
enough.
bad. Yeah.
Hey, everybody does it.
I mean,
Yeah, and we
What are you
just
gonna
happened to be the cleanup crew, and,
which was a great time, good fun.
good fun on the job. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about this episode. I think we're at a nice point here. We made it over an hour, right?
Yeah. I just give me a minute because I get the video of Calvin.
Oh, you do the Calvin
No.
dry heaving?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is a funny video. So,
Gotta find it.
so at some point, I got to go through my Snapchat memories because I would do videos like this I would call them TikToks, right?
Oh, hey,
I would make TikToks, but I never
Yeah.
posted them. They're just all in my Snapchat memories.
Calvin's
so.
got a good video.
yeah.
to
Do you
show
want to
up.
play that?
That's
You
what-
guys,
that would be a good
play the
breakout.
Cowboys.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
Let me
good
send
one.
that
That's
to
it,
Carter.
that's-
real
Send that to
quick.
Carter. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
And
can
then-
Back it up. Just back it up to Google Photos.
It should be on there.
find the date so he can pull it up.
Yeah.
We'll show if Carter's got the dry heaving video. We'll show you that, and then we'll leave you with the edit Calvin made because we were singing Coulter Wall, and Calvin recorded a little clip, and then he ended up using it for an edit.
Tonight's video: ghosts, poop, and the Vermont scoop.
Can we make that the title? Ghosts poop in the Vermont scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I still can't believe that about your
the ghosts.
Yeah, that
Yeah, that's
Just
pretty
gut
pretty
feeling,
freaky.
man. Never saw anything, but it was just gut. I mean, my house is older than anything around.
Right.
Never been creeped out in there at all, not once. This place, man,
Chills.
chills. I mean, like you said, the fucking TV it did not
the
do
TV
that once.
poltergeisted
It
on
did.
me.
It never did that when I turned.
There's enough
You
snow.
can't drive. I mean, you probably can sled, right? That's the trade-off.
I think you'll be able to drive.
We'll see.
No,
We'll
I'm
see
not
what
gonna.
happens if we get some serious weather.
I'll go sledding alone then.
You know, I'm not afraid to play in the snow, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. Honestly, so everyone's talking about this snowstorm coming up. I really think we're looking at a lot of rain,
Big
maybe a
bluff.
little bit of snow.
Big
Yeah,
bluff for sure.
I just haven't felt the chill in the air that really felt like a ton of snow yet. I'm sure we'll see some, but I don't think it's going to be anything heinous, any crazy amounts of snow.
Tomorrow's just gonna be gray and misty. That's
Yeah.
all it's gonna be.
You know, I'll probably throw on the Macy's parade. I think I can stream it on Peacock and, you know, sit around the house, Colin with the stretch pants. You know, if you ever been in my parents' house, you know it's going to be gym shorts because it's going to be about 80 degrees in that fucker. But, yeah, just be hanging out in my gym shorts and not doing a whole lot of nothing, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a great Thanksgiving right there.
Yeah. You know,
Lounging.
last year on Thanksgiving, I worked up at Sugar Bush on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I worked the big three last year.
No shit.
Or were they open Thanksgiving? Now that I say that,
Yeah.
they were, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must have been working. I don't think I came home for Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure I came back. I got to Vermont like November 1st.
I didn't realize you worked Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I did. But I thought it was cool.
you went
Like,
home like pretty soon after though, right?
I had been home before Christmas. Like we
Mm.
did our Christmas as a family like a week before on a Saturday, and then I went home like shortly after, I think. But yeah, like Christmas and New Year's, I said to everybody, I was like, listen, you know, I know some of these guys have families. I'm like, I certainly don't. I'm like, I got no problem if you want to put me on the schedule. I'd rather work these days because also like that was the other thing too. If I knew it was going to be busy, I just assume work instead of trying to go skiing. Right? If I knew it's going to be slammed, that's why my days off were Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my days off, the mountain was completely dead. Like I'd be the only one skiing, and then when you'd go to the lodge and sit at the bar, you were the only one there.
Yeah, it's
You know,
a way better way to do it.
Yeah, you didn't have to deal with all these people.
Lift line, 10 people on Wednesday, 200 people on Saturday.
Yeah, and all these people, you know, I ended up befriending a few people that I would see there skiing regularly, and there was a lot of people that would drive in. This one guy drove in from Philadelphia. You know, you think that's pretty far away, Philly to Vermont, but it's also like you think like, oh, Philly, New York, Vermont. It's not as far as you think, but still, Philly to Vermont. That sound when you say it out loud, that sounds really far. And this guy was there like almost every week, but he's there on the weekends, right? And he's complaining about the lift lines and how he's only got to make so many laps in one day, and
Hey,
I just can't relate to that.
when are we gonna hang out with Schwinn again?
Schwinn, my boy Schwinn.
Schwinn
This
the
guy.
man, the man, the myth.
Before we get to this, actually, why don't we just get to this? Schwinn, we'll save your episode for later. But here's the video when I was training Calvin to clean toilets at Sugar Bush. Go ahead and hit play, if it'll load. All right, popping Calvin's cherry. First clogged toilet on the job already. Here we go. See if the new guy can hack it. Oh fuck! This is so. We should have given you guys a warning.
Not as easy as it looks, is it?
God bless
All right.
America.
Okay,
Popping
Calvin's
Don't let it play again.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that was violent.
That's how you know we're not violent.
That's okay. This was a regular occurrence on the job, if you didn't know. But I'm sorry. I wish we gave a warning before we just played that because
Everybody does it.
but the only thing I can the only frame of reference I have for video, if I were to compare that to any video I've seen, that's like the thing in Jackass.
What was the other
where,
date you said, Calvin?
They got the glass
Tuesday, May
thing over their
21st.
head.
Oh yeah, the bubble.
It's
Yeah.
he
like
farts in it, but
Yeah.
maybe 2.5 minute long.
Oh my god, yeah, it was just violent. That was me training Calvin to clean toilets. Hopefully,
making me shake just
Oh
watching
my
that.
God,
yeah,
that-
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry you had to
I was
witness
having
that. I know
flashbacks.
everybody's thinking about food. They're trying to eat
Thanks,
tomorrow. If you got to vomit now, at least you can come back to that clip and watch it, and that's a surefire way to make yourself vomit.
It's on the two nerds Google photos.
Bob
Bob
Fredrickson.
You sure?
Should be. Yeah, I was on there.
We're just trying to find this stupid clip real quick here. They're monkeying around.
May
trying to pull
21st
it
is
up.
2 minutes and 13 seconds. And I'm on Fredrickson. Or maybe it's
Yeah.
it should be.
Calvin had made an edit, and I tried to get him to post it, but just never quite made it to air.
I did-
I got it.
Oh, now
I
okay.
I
here we
did
go.
get the approval of Ryder because because he's singing.
All right, well here it goes. We're gonna unveil it here.
It's a good. It gives the people what they need to see.
Yeah,
about
actually,
Vermont.
Jack is in this.
Yeah, wait. Before we hit play, do we got to give it any other context? Or we just let the people enjoy it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is basically what we've been talking about the whole time. This is from my
video
perspective.
is
you know.
from Calvin's perspective, and I think between us actually singing in the clip and all the clips that are shown, I think it really captures my emotions of our time there.
It's a great video for it.
It's a great
yeah.
video.
There's a lot of emotion in the singing.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, lastly, I would say this will probably be it for the episode, right? I think we play this and then roll the outro. Is that cool with everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So enjoy this video, guys. Hopefully you weren't too disturbed by this podcast. Thank you, Ryder, for joining us. I had fun
My
talking to
pleasure.
you.
thanks
Love to come back.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on more. But on that note, enjoy this edit Calvin made of our last winter in Vermont.
Just before you say that, it's the stream. It's not down, but it's buffering for everybody, I'm sure. So they might not see it on stream, but is that okay with
The
you?
video?
Yeah, it's either that you keep talking for a minute or I just play the video.
Won't they see it in the recording?
Yeah, they will.
As long as they see it in the recorded upload, that's all that I care about.
Okay.
Fuck the people watching live. Sorry.
Okay.
Let's see.
It looks like all of our internet's dead.
Just into the nick of time.
No, I wanted to watch this.
Oh man, I was so hyped for this.
Damn it.
Son of a gun. Come on. All right, here we go.
Turn it up.
I'll go back to me. The rain, as I do, with the wind, going together. Pick up. Prescott, I know, horizon, in this big road. My mind.
The word of the day, man. Just keep gaming, bruh. Don't focus on no girl. Just keep gaming.
Oh my god. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Better weather, baby.
So I'll